Hi, everyone. It's not quite 2 o'clock yet, and it's tradition for the broadband office to kind of give people about 5 minutes or so to file in. And we had about 100 people reserve to come to our meeting this afternoon, and we were at like 50 participants right now. So we'll get started about 2:05. In the meantime, if you don't mind, feel free to put your name and where you're from or the county that you're representing in the chat, and we'll get started here in a little bit. Thanks for coming. Wanted to say welcome to those people who've joined us since I last said something. It's been a few minutes. If you don't mind, put your name and where you're from in the chat so we can get a good idea of who's here with us this afternoon. I'm helping a couple of people who are having trouble entering Glenn, so that's what I'm doing on the side over here who contacted me.
Yeah, sounds good.
Scrolling through, it looks like we have all 4 corners of the state represented. So, and the middle. I see lots of people from the middle as well. Tanya, I see you have your hand raised, which is a good sign. That means you made the link I sent you work. So is there something else you need? Can you put it in the chat for now?
All right, do we want to get going?
Sure, let's do it.
All right. Well, so first, we want to welcome, as Lori said, the last couple of minutes, welcome you to our very first ever Arkansas Broadband Leaders Network meeting. So congratulations. The first ABLN meeting that we've ever had, and we're going to continue to have these. As she said, for anybody that comes in a little later, please enter your name and the county that you're with in the chat, and we'll get going. So again, first Arkansas Broadband Leaders Network meeting we ever had. Again, today's for number one meeting was designed, sort of reserved for our county committees. That was sort of the reservation that we wanted to have in this very first meeting. We've completed our 75 county tour across the state. We visited every county. I think to date, Lori said earlier, we have between 30 and 35 counties that have formed committees, I guess officially, with our office. So we've made tremendous progress. We're almost halfway there, and which makes sense, right? Because we've been doing this from February through the beginning of June. So again, halfway there on our county committee formation. It's been an excellent reception across the state. We won't be able to do what we need to do this year as a state and in the years to come without your hard work and your dedication to broadband all around the state. So again, thank you for being here. We look forward to working with you as we move forward in what we're doing. So it looks like I'm supposed to follow the agenda, and we'll do quick introductions. So Glenn Howey, State Broadband Director, I probably met most, if not all of you on our county tour, and if not, that's okay too. We had a virtual county visit presentation this morning at 10 o'clock. We're going to do another virtual county visit presentation this evening at 6 p.m. So if anyone is here that wants to attend a virtual sort of county visit, we're going to do that at 6 p.m. tonight. So let us know. Perhaps we can post the link in the chat for those who are interested in that. And again, when we do that, it is simply the same presentation that we gave at our county visits. We just pretend we're in a random county. We kind of select one and pretend that we're there and go through all the stats and data. That way everyone is aware of the presentation that we've given, what we want to do as a state moving forward, and everyone's kind of on the same basis. So, Lori.
Sure. So I'm Lori Ringler, if we haven't met already, and I'm the broadband project manager from the state. I'm going to be your point person as we move forward through this whole county committee process and all of the things. So if you have any questions at any point, if you haven't emailed me in the past, I definitely have your email now since you joined our meeting today, but I'm going to be your person. So I have gone to a few counties and helped kick off some broadband committees the past few weeks, and we're here for you. And so I don't want you to ever feel like you're on an island, because I promise you there's 75 other islands within our beautiful state, and we're all working towards the same goals. So if we've not met in person yet, I look forward to meeting you very soon. And I think ABLN is going to be a great thing for us all. So
I think Lane was joining us. Lane, if you have the capability, you want to do a quick intro?
Sure. Good afternoon. I'm Lane Bailey. I am new with the Arkansas Broadband Office. I'm the Broadband Grant Program Manager. Came here from, I've been with several state agencies. Prior to that, I was in the private sector, helping to build fiber networks. And I'm glad to be here, and I look forward to meeting folks from all over the state as we get into this exciting new phase for Arkansas.
Good. And I don't know if Kimberly is on this one. Lori, do we know? I don't think so.
Think so either, but we do have another. So we do have one more teammate, Kimberly Young, who, if you've worked with us on grants in the past, you're probably fully knowledgeable of her. She does most of the heavy lifting for us, you know, while we're doing fun things like webinars. So we'll hope to introduce you to her soon.
Yeah, good. And if you notice in the chat, Lori has posted the link for our virtual county visit presentation tonight at 6 p.m. For those that are interested, feel free to click on it, sign up, share it with those who may be interested. And we just want to be able to offer, and we're probably going to do a couple of more, right, as counties continue to submit their county broadband lists to us. There's going to be folks like some of you who weren't part of the initial meeting. And so that's why we want to present the county presentation to everyone that we can who's a part of a committee, so they understand sort of the basics and the leading point from where we're starting from as a state moving forward. So that's on the right, just in case you knew. And look, we're going to keep it very relaxed, not super formal, very relaxed kind of chat. We're going to do these every 2 weeks. I'm going to go ahead and go to the next slide. I'm guessing it's okay, the updates. But yeah, we're going to do these every 2 weeks. Today, it's sort of going to rotate. So week A, for lack of a better term, will be sort of an office hours, general conversations, what's working for you, what's not, what questions do you have, what can we answer, sort of a general discussion. In week A. Week B will be more of a program, sort of a kind of a formal program that we'll try to offer on the B weeks, right? So this is week A, it's our first one. We have a couple of updates because it's our first one with you. But traditionally, these will normally just be kind of open office hours, to discuss whatever you want to discuss. And 2 weeks from now, or week B, I'll have more of a formal program each time for everyone, just sort of education and different concepts and different things to walk through. So we hope to be able to give a lot of content, a lot of education, and ultimately answer a lot of questions and as we move forward. So on the update front, Lori, take it away on the latest update.
Let me jump in too. And so, you know, one of the other things I want to add was that we don't want you to feel obligated that this is, you know, a chunk of your time that you have to give up every 2 weeks also. So I'll do my best to send out an agenda a week in advance. And that way you can decide if it's you that needs to attend this meeting, or maybe you have somebody that's on your county's committee that maybe is better suited for that. You know, an example of that would be like an affordability discussion where we're talking about the ACP program and we're not talking about infrastructure. So, you know, if you're just like on the committee because your focus is to identify the underserved and the unserved households within your county, you know, affordability might not be your topic. That might be something that the school superintendent should hear. So I want to make sure that, you know, you don't feel like this chat that we're having every other week is a burden, but we will have things that are going to become more important, especially as we move on with our planning processes and the documents and all of the things that we're going to have completed by the end of this year. So, you know, we'll encourage at least one person from your committee to attend every meeting that we have. So that way they can report back to the others. Take it away, Glenn. Sorry.
No, it makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. Yeah, so we can go ahead and go into the updates. So first update, as most of you are probably aware, and if you don't, this is great news. On Monday, and look, when we did these county visits, we had talked about, look, end of June, U.S. Commerce is going to let us know through the BEAD program how much money is Arkansas going to receive. We had projected on an earlier version of the map, we had projected about 1.4 billion, and we've talked about that. The latest edition or sort of update to the map changed the numbers a little bit, so we ended up with over $1 billion, but just a little bit. So on Monday, U.S. Commerce announced that Arkansas, through the BEAD program, is going to get a little over $1 billion. So good for us. Great for Arkansas. We were in I think the 17th largest dollar amount in the whole country. So good for us, but it also shows the need, right, that still exists. In the latest version of the map, when we did the county visits, we had talked about 269,000 locations across the state that needed to be built to for the first time. In the latest version of the map, it's really about 215 or so is the latest number that they have. So we still have a large amount of work ahead of us, but to be able to accomplish that, we've gotten $1 billion, and that was announced on Monday. Now, I should say we don't have it yet. It was announced Monday. There's several steps we have to do this year to be able to unlock those dollars. We've talked about on our county visits the planning that we have to do this year, the planning documents that are due by end of the year. We have to go through that to be able to unlock this $1 billion and put it to work for Arkansas. And that's where our partnership and relationship with our county committees is going to come in so critical to what we have to do as a state. So we wanted to make you aware that announcement was officially made on Monday. with it. Yeah,
So,
go ahead, Lori.
yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. So as you know, we were talking about of the planning and all that, and I believe if you were at one of our broadband meetings that we had in your county, we did go through a little timeline, and we have that updated here. So right now, what's going on, and you'll hear more about this because we have Solomon Graves with us from Heartland Forward, but we're in the middle of our digital opportunity and skills surveys and focus groups and listening sessions, and these are critical to our digital opportunity funds that we're going to receive also as part of that BEAD program. So if you have any of these events going on in your county, and we definitely can provide you a list of cities and possibly even contact people. Please help us promote these events because it's really important that we hear from, certain populations of people. And we talked about that during our roadshow presentation. In August, we have our 5-year plan that's due, and that's basically a summary of how we're going to spend that $1 billion. And so we've been working on that the last few weeks. We should have something for the public to review and comment on by the middle to the end of July because it's due at the end of August. So that'll be something else that we send out to our broadband committees for you to read through, share with your friends and neighbors, and receive comments, that you can get back to us on. The serious planning for us starts really in October, where you see our initial proposal is due. That volume 1 is going to consist of our mapping, our project areas, our challenge process, all of the rules and things involved with how we're going to run our grant program going forward has to be presented to NTIA I guess we're going to have it ready in October, but that's just, yeah, I was like, the dates are kind of getting fuzzy, but there's so many dates. So in October, we're going to have our volume 1 turned in, which again, we'll have to have public comment periods on. The full digital skills and opportunity plans due in November. And again, public comment periods, all of these things. This is why we need, our counties to input, because y'all are going to have people available in these towns and communities that you can get a hold of easier than I can. And then in December, right before Christmas, is right when we have to have our full initial proposal turned in. And that's the full, how are we spending the $1 billion? And how are we going to move forward from that? So very busy, lots of paperwork in our future. You probably won't see us out on the road as often as the months go by, because we've got it, in order for us to unlock those funds, like Glenn said, we have to get these proposals turned in on time.
Yeah, and again, as these things are ready to go, as Lori said, we're going to share them with you. We want your feedback, so read through them. Make sure the committee reads it, send it to friends and neighbors. Because part of this whole idea, right, is that we need local input. As we said in the meetings, your people and the issues you face, the barriers and potential solutions better than we do in Little Rock, and certainly better than Washington sometimes. So we want to make sure that we share our plans with you. You have a say in it. You give us feedback, and we try to make it the best plan that we can for Arkansas.
So next, we're going to turn the floor over to Solomon Graves, who is the policy director at Heartland Forward. And he is the one, I'm going to use the word again, heavy lifter for our digital skills and opportunities plan. And I'm going to let you talk a little bit more about that, Solomon.
Okay. Oops. There we go. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. As Lori said, I'm Solomon Graves. I'm the Director of Public Policy for Heartland Forward. Some of y'all got a email from our team last week promoting the Digital Skills and Opportunities Survey. We have been engaged with by the State Broadband Office to do the field work as required by NTIA to provide a outline to the state, which will be used to craft the Digital Skills and Opportunity Plan. $840,000 was provided to the state for this planning process to determine what the needs gaps are throughout the state and provide a strategy for filling those gaps. All of y'all are on the call, not because you are committed to every citizen in your county having access to Netflix. Y'all are on the call because you are committed to every child in your county having access to a 21st century global education. You're committed to every citizen in your county having access to economic opportunity. You're committed to every citizen in your county having healthcare access and being able to leverage telehealth. Well, we are wanting to engage the state about is to, again, benchmark where we are to make sure that we determine the affordability challenges. Again, we have not met our goal. We have not met our charge if the infrastructure we put out is not affordable and attainable. And also, once it's attainable, that the communities know how to leverage it. For many portions of the state, Glenn made would always talk about that 87% number in his community roadshow. 87% of Arkansas falls into one or more of the NTIA covered populations that we're focusing our work on. Within that 80%, far too many of them have never had exposure to high-speed internet or internet at all in some cases. If they have, it's been limited to their cell phone. So we have to also address not just the need for opportunity, but also the need for skills. And how do we make sure that all 3 million Arkansans have the ability to leverage high-speed internet to advance their education, healthcare, agriculture, or their local economy. So how can y'all help? The first ask we have is to share the survey with everyone you know. Again, y'all, every county contact got a email from our team last week with the survey. Please forward that link, share it throughout your counties, leveraging social media, your chambers of commerce, your churches, the school districts in your county, local businesses, and everything in between. We want as many respondents as we can, so we have a meaningful survey size in order to craft our plan around. Also, I want to reiterate something that Lori said. The partners that are working with us to conduct the community focus groups, the listening sessions have been provided contacts for every county committee, and we are asking that as they schedule those to engage the county committee, make sure that y'all are aware so y'all can support those efforts and make sure that your communities come out in force and give us the feedback that we need. Third piece is we are, as part of our digital skills and opportunity plan, required to report out existing resources related to digital skills and opportunity, whether that's e-learning, whether that's device refurbishment, distributors, or any other related services that enhance the ability of Arkansans to access the internet. So if there are those resources in your county, we would ask that y'all provide those to us. Finally, again, this reiterates point that was just raised. Please take full advantage of the public comment period. Again, y'all are going to get a copy of the plan once it is ready for public comment. Please read it, and please be forthright and open in your comments, because we, as we craft this plan, we want to make sure that it meets the needs of Arkansans and that we are able to fully take advantage of the money we will receive separate from the infrastructure investment directly tied to digital skills and opportunity. Okay.
Thanks, Solomon. So, as you can hear, we've got a lot going on the digital skills and opportunities front, and it's really important that you guys help contribute to that. So we'll get the survey out to you. If you didn't receive the packet, like Hal's mentioned, we'll get that survey packet out to you. We also have PDF versions of the survey. So if you're working with some people who maybe don't have internet access or you can't see the survey on your tiny little phone, we can send that PDF version for you to you so you can print it out and then just dump all your responses in an envelope and send back to us, and we'll get those processed on our side. A couple things, like I said, this meeting is going to be kind of short just because we were, kind of introducing the concept, and, we definitely wanted to get the digital skills survey out there because we're trying to collect as many responses before the end of July. Another thing that we want to recommend too is that if broadband's not a language you speak, maybe, and you've been encouraged to be on this committee by, people in your county judge's office or other places, there's a great broadband basics email course that has been put together by Pew Charitable Trust. It's a 4-week thing where they just send you like one email every other day or so, that kind of gives you, some background and teaches you how the internet works and that kind of stuff. So I'll send this presentation out to everyone involved, but we highly encourage, those people who broadband is not your first language, to sign up for the course, because I think it'll give you some skills that maybe you didn't know you needed, and help you talk the talk whenever you're talking to your community members, especially when you're talking with us as well. Our next meeting is going to be in July, probably the 13th is what we're looking at, which is a Thursday, not a Wednesday, in the afternoon. And it's going to be called Kickstart Your County Broadband Committee. And like Glenn said, we're going to do programming on our next meeting. And we've invited, and they've graciously accepted, the Carroll County Broadband Committee to do a presentation, because we met with them in February is when we did our broadband roadshow. And they hit the ground running as soon as we walked out the door. So they have experience reaching out to their community. They've made relationships with service providers in the area. They have a marketing strategy. They have a budget, y'all. I know that's been a common question that I receive, but they have found resources to pay for things. So we're going to have them speak on all of the things that they've done today, and maybe kind of give you some encouragement and some ideas on how you can move forward in your own county and advance your own broadband committee. Glenn, do you have anything else to add there?
No, not really. Just following up. Just want people to kind of, make sure they understand sort of the rotation that we're doing. Just wanted to recap on that real quick, right? So every 2 weeks, we'll have a meeting. This first one today, we had some stuff in here, but really it was meant, first of all, reserved for our committee folks. So thank you for being part of a committee. We wanted to offer this first one to you. And look, I did want to say this is going to grow a little bit. So as we continue these next several weeks, we're going to add some additional stakeholders. So the group will grow, and that's okay. We want as many people in the state of Arkansas to be involved in the broadband conversation and making sure that we accomplish this thing. But again, so as far as the setup, this week was sort of our open office hours, which we'll get to in just a minute or two. And every other week will be more of a programming type event. And as Lori said, you feel free. If you think it's beneficial, attend. If you don't think that week's session is going to be beneficial, don't attend. We'd always recommend at least someone from the county committee attend all of them. But it's going to be up to you. We're not going to force it on you. We're just going to offer as much and as many resources as we can and answer as many questions as we can. That's the whole goal of this, is to educate, have participation, and work with us to eliminate the divide by 28. That's the goal.
Yeah, so we could give you back 30 minutes of your hour. But if you do have some questions or anything that maybe Glenn and I can answer for you, or even Solomon, since we've still got him for 30 more minutes and about digital skills and opportunities, raise your hand. There's a button there near the top of your screen where I can unmute you and you can talk to us, or if you rather, you can type it in the chat and we can answer your questions that way. And I will get Mr. James Turner from the Washington Benton County Committee. Let's see here. Hold on. Like his little mute button disappears. Unmute. Okay, James, you should be able to talk now.
Hey, Lori, thank you for taking my question. So in speaking with our ISPs, probably the biggest concern that we have is the turnaround time on when the plan areas are going to be released to when the ISPs actually have to submit a proposal on that. Is there any way that we can, get some information on that? Is there a way to get those project areas released sooner so that we can plan for those areas better? I think the concern is that if we have to rush to get proposals back, that they're not going to come in as inexpensively as it could if they could plan better.
Yeah, sure, James. Look, what's going to happen is, like I said, the initial proposal piece has to be in by end of the year. And again, I'll just make sure people know that's a document that our office has to produce, right? In coordination with you guys, you're going to read it and give us feedback. And then we submit that to U.S. Commerce. There's going to be plenty of time from when we publish eventually the project areas for infrastructure build out and when the ISPs are going to apply. There's going to be time for that. If we're thinking back sort of last fall, we operated somewhat on a very compressed schedule. The normal process is not going to play out like that. The process we had last fall was very compressed. We had the end of administration in the state. And so there was, we were constrained to make sure that we could run one before the turnover in the administration. So that's why the time frame was a little compressed as last time. But no, moving forward, there's going to be plenty. That should not be a concern amongst the ISPs. There'll be plenty of time.
Okay, thank you very much.
I think Amy, if I can do this, where'd it go? Laura, did you figure out how to unmute them? Laura, you're on mute.
Sorry. Amy, you should be able to unmute yourself at this point. And then Justin from Montgomery County has a question in the chat, Glenn, about how to attract additional service providers to their area.
Okay, Justin, let's see.
Should I go?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay, this is Amy Monk in Montgomery County. So I would like a list of who all is on our county's committee. I attended the county meeting, but I don't know who else is on this committee. And I think it would be helpful for us to be able to communicate with each other in our county.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. So we'll work on that for you. Let's see. All right, so Justin's asking, is there a way for us to search out additional ISPs for our service area at this point? Okay, so basically, it looks like there's limited competition in that area. And how do they drive more ISP involvement? That's one of the things that we talk about in the toolkit is one of the things that the county committee should look to do, right, is engage and try to build relationships with potential partners, which would include an internet service provider. My initial recommendation would be to look perhaps at the counties that surround your county. If you want additional competition and potentially new ISP to apply, right, for a project that we'll put out eventually for your county, I would look at the counties that surround you. Okay, if there are interesting providers that are in your neighboring counties that are there, but they're not there in your county, you want to start reaching out, trying to build a relationship, try to schedule a meeting, have invite some of the ISPs that are in other counties that you like have a meeting and invite them, right? Have them come, establish those relationships, talk to them, invite them to come to a meeting, and show them that, look, this particular county, we are super interested in broadband. We have a committee. We're committed to this stuff, and we want to foster competition. So I think the counties that are more active in trying to build relationships with ISPs, having conversations and showing an interest, right? That's going to make an ISP more, in my opinion, more interested in going to your community, right? So that's how I would approach it. There's a little bit of information, I think, in the toolkit that covers that somewhat. That would be my advice on that.
Kevin Shin, you should be able to talk now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh. The people that we have on our broadband committee, I'm with Madison County. The people that are on our broadband committee, are they receiving the same emails that I'm getting? Do they know about these meetings as well? I think I see one other of ours on here today. When we have
Yes.
the next meeting in July, do we need to make a better effort to have everybody on the committee there, or the elected officials, the tech people? What do you recommend?
So, so if I've been provided their email addresses whenever the committee sent me who's part of their committee, I guess I
Right.
don't know how to word that properly, then yes, I've made a distribution list for your county committee, and that's who I'm sending these messages to, and that's how all of them will go out going forward. But you know, for the next meeting, you know, if y'all are having trouble getting off the ground, especially, I would have everybody in attendance, because that's gonna be the focus of our conversation, is how to get going, and here's the tasks that we need you to be completing, you know, in this time before we get really busy trying to do maps and stuff like that. So I can, if you don't, I was gonna say, I think you have the list, but if your
I
list is different,
on an Excel sheet that I think we shared before. So I've got
yes.
seeing Bailey and I on here. I talked to our mayor earlier, and he was supposed to be on here, but I'll be more diligent next time. Make sure they're all reminded to be here.
Right, and they may have registered, and I believe what happens if you do register for the meeting, but something comes up and you're unable to attend, you will still get like a recording of the message of the meeting following it. So, and we can always provide, you know, the slideshows that are used and handouts and everything, and just in case you might have to represent something to your committee members that were unable to attend.
Well, when you were talking about Carroll County, I've been looking back through my emails, and I'm trying to see if there's some resources that I have missed, or if they just took what we did in our meetings with you and ran with it. But have you sent something else out that I've missed?
I don't think so. I think if you've gotten the invites for this meeting, then you should be good.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Any other questions we can answer?
There's got to be questions. There got to be questions.
Everyone's still in shock. Or they've melted because it's so hot outside. But I did put it in the chat, and I just want to make sure everybody saw it, that if you did not get the digital skills packet that Solomon was referring to, I'm going to send that out to everyone who signed up for the meeting. So that way you'll have that packet in your hot little hands.
Okay, let's see. A couple of additional questions came in. So it looks like there is going to be some AT&T as they expressed some intention to put fiber in an area. You know, essentially the question is, you know, should the county committee let them know that, you know, our projects are going to come through our office down the road? Look, we would never, the more that the private sector, any provider on their own dime and on their own dollar can go into a community and build out fiber broadband for folks, that's a good thing. That's less money that our state and our office has to administer to go somewhere. You know, AT&T should be fully aware of what our office is doing and what the state is going to do moving forward. They're going to be part of our conversations. But no, yeah, feel free. Look, have conversations. Have the committee, have the county committee talk to AT&T, right? I would say, look, if I know that's going to happen and I'm the county committee, I want AT&T. I'm going to have a meeting of our county broadband committee, and I want AT&T to come to the meeting and tell us what they're doing, right? That's what I would do. Just again, show that engagement, show that relationship building, and that's a very big key of this whole thing. So.
Yeah, and have them regularly give you updates too, because you know you're going to want to know, and especially the people that are in that project area, they're going to want to know when things are delayed because of supply chain issues. And if it's, you know, 3 or 6 months past, you know, the deadline, you know, your people are going to want to know, and they're probably going to come to you because if they come to me, I'm going to refer them back to you because y'all are going to know more faster in a lot of cases, especially with private money. You're going to know before I'll know. So
yeah, so good point. Look, if you hear of internet service providers that are getting ready to do work in your county, yeah, A, you can let us know, but B, I would call a meeting especially for that and have that internet service provider that's either doing a project or talking about doing a project present to your committee. Ask them questions, right? Put their feet to the fire a little bit. That's okay. And but ultimately build that relationship. Is there an end date on the survey? I think we're trying, if I recall correctly, to have the survey results in by the middle of July. Is that right, Lori and Solomon?
Yeah, that's correct. Mid-July with the goal of having the draft plan out for comment by the end of August.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so we want to push that thing as much as possible. The link to the digital opportunity survey is in the chat. Lori put it there. We're going to email it out to you, a link to it as well after today. And look, we need you to fill it out. We need you to send it to your friends and family. Post the link on Facebook and tell people about it. We know how Facebook is, right, folks? Post it on Facebook. If you're in the Rotary Club, send it to your Rotary Club distribution list. If you're in Kiwanis, do that. If the church group, right, put it in the text chat with your church friends or the prayer group or the list that you have from church. We need as many people as possible across Arkansas to fill this thing out. So mass distribution, social media, your email lists, the groups you're in, just spread it as fast as you can, okay? And again, it probably takes 10, 15 minutes to get it done, but it's worth it. So please do it and please spread it as much as possible.
print some out, take them to the 4th of July barbecue.
Right.
But no, yes, that's a huge ask, I know, but it's really important that we hear from as many people as possible because that data collected is going to play a huge role in how we plan to use those digital skills funds moving forward.
Well, look, 2 weeks from now, we'll have our Arkansas Broadband Leaders Network meeting number 2. That one is going to be more programmatic based. It's Kickstart Your County Broadband Committee. So as Lori said, going to be program based. We're going to have Carroll County sort of present. So far, they're sort of our gold star kind of A+ county. They've done some really interesting and really innovative things. And as she said, they sort of took the ball and ran with it as soon as we left. And so we want to give them an opportunity to walk everyone through how they approached it, what they did, what they did, maybe you can replicate or build upon, and then we'll have some other kind of programmatic stuff to go along with it. That'll be the program in about 2 weeks. We'll send out the agenda. I think the plan is a week before that, so a week from today-ish, and we'll go from there. We look forward to working with you, and we'll hang on. I can hang on for another 5 minutes just in case anybody's nervous and doesn't want to ask a question in front of others. That's okay too. So we'll hang on for another 5 minutes to do questions, but otherwise, we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. So thank you very much.
Yes, thank you for your time. Have a great day. Contributing.
Not a problem.
See, we got a question. Let's see. So do we as a
No, Bryce,
committee,
you are good.
do we as a committee need to have anything prepared for the next meeting? Yep, as always said, nope.
Unless you want to prepare something and you'd love to present something, I am open for suggestions.
And Lori, I gotta work on getting you some better broadband across the hall because you keep freezing up.
This shared network.
So Glenn, that means as a good leader, you're gonna give up your wired connection in your office and swap with Lori?
That's right. That's right. But I'll work with a little, set up a little fixed wireless connection from my office. From point to point.
Yeah. Gotta get those pictures hung back on the wall behind your head there.
This is true. I gotta do that. It's true.
Okay, I'm going to end the meeting now. That's okay with y'all?
Yeah, we can end the recording.
Okay. I don't think I have the ability to stop.
Yeah, once we let us know when the recording's done. Or maybe I can do it. Let's see.